Everyone thinks self-love is about self-acceptance. So if you're like an obese guy and when you pee, you can't see your dick because you have this huge belly, you should just love yourself for exactly how you are. No need to improve. No need to get rid of that big old belly. Just sit your fat ass on the couch, keep watching TV and stuffing your face with Cheetos. It's all good. Love yourself. That's what people think self-love is. I was just reading a comment that someone left on one of my shorts. I was talking about how I don't expect to have too many followers on this path of becoming an Ubermensch, becoming a god among men. Very lofty goal, to say the least. This guy commented, he was like, oh, this constant need to self-improve, this is just a feeling of inadequacy. You don't have to prove yourself. You should be happy with who you are and love yourself. Telling me I'm already worthy, I don't have to improve myself. This is a very common misinterpretation. The reason that this misinterpretation and misunderstanding exists is because the common man who does self-improvement, he's doing it for other people to prove the haters wrong or they're doing it to show their ex-girlfriend, oh, I'm doing so much better now without you. This is what the common man is doing self-improvement for. I'm doing self-improvement so I can rise above humanity and become a god among men, the Ubermensch. I have ambitions and goals that have nothing to do with other people. That's why I'm able to sacrifice relationships and spending time with other people in order to invest all my time and energy into developing myself. And the reason I cannot care about others is because I had such a rich social life in the past. For most of my life, I was married for 12 years. I always had a lot of friends. I was always doing something. I was never alone. I never had solitude. So I was on the extreme end of like a social life. I never did anything just for myself. I never spent time by myself, reading, writing, self-reflecting. Everything was externally motivated. The last 3 or 4 years, I've gone to the extreme on the other end, which is extreme solitude, extreme introspection and self-reflection, doing everything for myself, doing nothing for others. So you can definitely say I'm a man of extremes. I don't like anything mediocre. I don't like anything balanced. There is a lot of value to having a balance and having moderation. I just think that the moderation can come in a broader sense. Instead of having a moderate day, you can have a moderate life in total. So you spend a few years being a complete degenerate, then you spend a few years as an ascetic monk, denying all pleasure and renouncing worldly things. And overall, that's moderation. But to do like a daily, like every day is moderation, this I think is just the recipe for a mediocre life. I'm much more in favor of what Nietzsche advised, which was to build your cities on the slopes of Vesuvius and to live dangerously. But going back to the misunderstanding and misinterpretation of men on extreme self-improvement, it makes a lot of sense that you'll see a guy renouncing pleasure and comfort and just going balls deep into personal development and think he feels inadequate, he feels he's not worthy, so he's trying so hard to improve himself. I get it, and for many men this is the case. This is how the common people behave. The common people are part of the herd. Everything in their life depends on others. So they have to get along with other people. They care a lot about other people's opinions of them. It's all about other people. And my life philosophy is that it's all about yourself. Self-improvement. Self-love. And that's what this video is about. It's about self-love. So the guy in the comment is pretty much telling me, oh, love yourself. You're worthy. You're enough already as it is. And he thinks that's self-love. Everyone thinks self-love is about self-acceptance. So if you're like an obese guy and when you pee, you can't see your dick because you have this huge belly, you should just love yourself for exactly how you are. No need to improve. No need to get rid of that big old belly. Just sit your fat ass on the couch, keep watching TV and stuffing your face with Cheetos. It's all good. Love yourself. That's what people think self-love is. My idea of self-love is a paradox. It's a contradiction, because Nietzsche said that life is a contradiction. The truth is full of paradox and contradiction. If there's no contradiction in your life philosophy, then it's probably very far from truth. I think this was in The Gay Science. He said that contradiction is an aesthetic virtue. You need to be able to hold two contradictory thoughts in your head at the same time. Self-love and self-detesting. You have to detest yourself in order to truly have self-love. This is drawing from Heraclitus, one of Nietzsche's favorite philosophers, his favorite pre-Socratic philosopher, or pre-Platonic as he called it, because he considered Socrates as part of the group of first philosophers in ancient Greece. You had Thales, who said everything is water. And then you had Heraclitus, who said everything is fire, because fire is dynamic and it's a flux. He thought that life and existence was not a static thing. It was constantly changing and becoming something. This brings me back to the comment. The guy says, this is why this part struck me. He said, "You're a human being." And I replied to the comment. I said, "No, I'm not a human being. I'm a human becoming." Nietzsche agreed with Heraclitus that nothing is static. There is no being. There is only becoming. You're always becoming something. So an expression of self-love would actually be to detest parts of yourself that are weak. Detest who you are so you can destroy parts of yourself that aren't serving you, and you can create new parts of yourself. And you can evolve and grow and become someone new constantly. There's never a point of arrival where you're like, oh, I'm perfect. There's nothing I can change about myself. That's called death. When you're dead, that's when you stop becoming something new. So life is the opposite of death. Death is static. It doesn't change. It's just nothing. Life is constant growth and becoming, or it can be decaying. You don't have to become better. Most people are not becoming better. Most people who practice self-love and self-acceptance, they're like, oh, I'm perfect how I am. Why would I destroy myself? Why would I go through suffering and struggle to destroy parts of myself and become something new? Constantly. Doing this is hard. True self-love is not a passive thing where you're just like, oh yeah, I love myself. True self-love is destroying yourself constantly and creating something new. The phoenix is what life is all about. It's about burning down and then rising from the ashes. If you don't destroy, there's no room to create. In the beginning of his career, Nietzsche first destroyed the old values of Christianity, of pity and meekness and the slave morality. And then in his later works, starting around The Gay Science, this is my favorite book of Nietzsche. It's a masterpiece. It's his middle life philosophy. It's not fully advanced like The Antichrist or Thus Spoke Zarathustra, but The Gay Science has it all. It has eternal return. It has amor fati. It has will to power. Lots of great stuff in The Gay Science. After he's done destroying the old values system of Christianity, he's creating a new one. And it's an affirmative life philosophy. It's saying yes to life. It's saying yes to the suffering and pain of life, the conflict, the war, because these are the things that create something better. It's called the great health. The great health doesn't mean you're always healthy. Have you ever noticed if you get sick, you feel pretty down for a few days, but once you're feeling better again, you feel better than ever before. You feel more alive and you have more energy than you did before you got sick. It's called convalescence. And Nietzsche attributes all his greatest works to that feeling of convalescence. He had a lot of health problems. He had a congenital illness, and it caused him blinding migraines. He couldn't read or write. He couldn't even think. So Nietzsche suffered extremely in his life from his poor health. He would go through the worst suffering and pain. He experienced the lowest lows, so now he can experience the highest highs. So you need that tension of opposites. This goes back to the contradiction and paradox. You need to be able to hold both things, cruelty and kindness, sickness and health, be rich and be poor. If you were just born rich and you were never poor, that money means nothing to you. Experience love so you can experience heartbreak. Fully trust someone so you can experience betrayal. This is a full life being lived. A life with only comfort, only pleasure, only enjoyment, only safety and security. No tragedy, no suffering, no loss. That's not a life. And I doubt that has ever happened, because existence is full of conflict and it's full of opposing forces. Self-love means you're not comfortable where you are. You want to struggle and suffer so you can become something better. And this is an ongoing process. It never ends. This is the journey of self-overcoming. And the point, at least for me, is to become the Ubermensch, a god among men. If you want to join me on this path, I can help you get on the Ubermensch path. Top link in the description and pinned comment if you want that. I'll also leave the link for my ebook, The Brutal Truth of Female Nature, if you want to learn about that. Like this video and leave a comment. I love when you guys comment because it gives me ideas for videos. Don't be afraid to leave a comment. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.